Good afternoon. Now, if you looked on the program, you'd have seen the title of my talk was Hunting Whales with an iPhone, which hopefully got you a little bit intrigued. What's it going to be about? Well, I'm going to start with looking at maybe, just very quickly, the history of mobile games. I'm only going to do it in one slide, which is quite a challenge when you think about it. It's about 20-ish years. Now, probably most of the audience didn't get to experience Snake on the Nokia iPhone, but you are kind of what I would call the iPhone generation. So you entered your secondary school, roughly the time the iPhone originally came out, and we saw the birth of smartphones and the birth of games that you could download and play on the go. This has been an example from the year 2008 when the iPhone first came out. But today, we move on to high-fidelity products, such as Call of Duty Mobile, a modern example of games. And what we've looked at across the course of these years is a diversity in the funding model of the way that you pay to play these products. To give you some numbers, the computer game market alone in the worldwide is worth about $138 billion. That's a lot of money. It's as much as film and music combined. In the UK alone, if I asked you how many game companies there were operating out of the UK, you'd probably say 10, 20, 30. It's well over 2,000. The vast majority of those are working on mobile games, which accounts for about half the amount of money, $70 billion. That's an awful lot of money. But the problem is, they're cheap, often free. I'm sure all of you have got smartphones full of free games that you've downloaded and played for a while. So how on earth do they make all this money? And that's what I'm going to look at over the next few minutes. But we've got a problem. Free trial of this talk has ended, I'm afraid. You're getting it straight away. To unlock the rest of this talk, it's been a free ride all day, to be honest. I'm going to charge you 650 of my currency, the Ralph Rupee. And the way I'm going to offer you those coins to buy, well, you could spend just £1 and get 50, or I'll sell you 500 for £5, or I'll sell you 10,000 for £50. But you can see they're deliberately designed to confuse you. Large numbers compared to the real currency that we work with, the pounds. It's the monopoly money syndrome. You might have encountered this if you've gone to certain countries abroad, where the amount of money you're paying for things, you don't really know how much it's costing. Notice the combinations. I want 650 Ralph Rupees from you to continue my talk. You can't buy 650. You can just about do it by having 500 and 350s, but you're feeling as if you're missing out. And notice the best value offer I'm offering you. Anyone bold enough to take that? So what I'm looking for now is I need to get 650 Ralph Rupees. Let's buy 2 lots of £5. Anyone got £10 that's willing to pay? Oh, look at this. I'll just check it's real. They think they're getting it back at the end. Nah, not this time. Thank you very much. Purchased 1,000 Ralph Rupees for £10, and we've unlocked the rest of the talk, so I can continue. And this kind of progress lock is really common. What we have here is an example, Super Mario Run, where they gave you the initial levels of the game and then charge you about £10 to unlock the rest of it. It's not a new idea. Those of us old enough in the audience will know a game called Doom on the PC. It was basically a concept called shareware. They gave away the first version. It was shared around amongst people. If you wanted to play past the first level, then you sent your $30, and I mean sent your $30 or £30, because there wasn't an internet. This is 1993, it was the very rudiments of the internet, and you unlock the rest of the game. Now, again, to you and I, $60 million might sound a lot of money, but it's not. We are only in the chump change area of the money that mobile games earn yet. So this is not the best way to make money out of mobile games. I've just had lunch. I'm really tired. I've run out of energy. So I'm going to go away and have an hour's rest now. Or I'll tell you what we could do. I'll let you unlock an instant recharge for me. I'd just spend another of my 100 Ralph Rupees. Now, luckily, 1,000 less 650, we had 350 left, so we'll spend some of those. And this kind of energy progress is used by a lot of games. This is one that probably quite a few of you out there have played, Clash of Clans. And it's used to control the progress of the speed through the games that you make. These time gates are putting real blocks on your activity, and these games are clever. They're very clever, because Clash of Clans will let you build level 1 of an item in just a minute or two. Level 2, a couple of minutes. Level 3, a few tens of minutes. They might offer you a free bonus that allows you to unlock an hour or so quite quickly, but they're hooking you in. And eventually you get to the mechanics where it's going to take you a day or 3 days. And then they throw a threat mechanic at you. A friend has started to attack your town. And you think, ooh, if I could just get my fort up to the next level, or my wall, not necessarily in this game, but lots of games are like the same, then a small payment will let you continue. And once you start paying, you'll continue to pay. Now, this game is estimated to have generated for Supercell around $6 billion. This game's free. So by not selling it to you and just working on unlocks and time progress and things like that, they have generated a very large amount of money. We move on. Oh, I'll tell you what. We've had a few slides that have been blue. Let's jazz it up a little bit. We'll sell you a new coloured background. Well, we could go for cool purple, but it doesn't look much different under this light, nor does steel. Oh, look, today only, limited edition background, the brushed gold. It's only 50. This money's become not important to us now. It's thrown away. We paid the £10. That's safely in my pocket as a developer. And you've got this 250 kicking around. Let's have a new look. Thank you very much. Straight away to the new background. Brushed gold, the cosmetic in games. Now, some of you might predict the game we're going to be talking about here, Fortnite. Not all on mobile, to be fair. We're into the big money zone here now. Multiplayer games often feature these paid cosmetics because you want to show off to your friends. You want to be playing the game. You want to have the latest skin, the emotes, the dance, the floss. And you want to be able to, perform these in front of your friends. The children wanting this, the latest thing. They're maybe less insidious than paying to actually win, like the previous game, but they're still there. They're still impacting on the model. They've got to get their money somehow out of you. But they tend to feature the hard sell. If you think back to maybe the times you were in school, did you have friends that had more money, that were unlocking things? Or it doesn't even have to be digital. This is new in digital. But there were physically people that had better clothes, different things than you, and you wanted them, you craved them. That need to have the latest thing to match your peers, to match your friends. And this is where the hard sell comes in. And my message is starting to develop here. I don't like this kind of thing. This is where we are going to the children and people that don't have the control, the self-discipline to be able to decide intelligently what they're spending their money on. There won't be many of us in the audience that have got children, but believe you me, when you do, and they reach the age that they can play stuff like this, you will get pressurized for this kind of thing. So my message is starting to come across here. Now, it's only 3 billion. You think, we've just seen a 6 billion. Well, that was in 1 year. And will go on, I am sure, to be one of the biggest grossing games of all time. So it's making that much money out of people. Ooh, that's nice. A nice surprise, part of the way through the talk. I'm going to offer you a loot box. Now, these are very clever, because I'm offering you something that looks extremely shiny. Here's the big treasure chest. It's never a little paper bag, is it? It's always the treasure chest. It's always the promise of greatness. The list of possible rewards is endless. Hundreds of Ralph rupees that we could spend. We could be offering you exclusive backgrounds or exclusive cosmetics to none of your friends will be able to get any other way unless they're as lucky as you. Well, you might win, specifically today, an amazing finish to this talk. But it's locked. I want you to be paying up another 100 Ralph rupees to open it. And believe you me, when you're playing the games, you'll get way, way more of these chests than you will ever have the money or the keys to unlock. So why not? Got a couple hundred left. Let's gamble. Oh, a rare prize win. That's quite nice. What have I won? The mystery talk ending. I'm surprised in this one. Oh, well, okay. As we can see there, in the early 19th century, the River Thames had a big problem with pollution. Okay, I'm only joking. I don't know whether any of you read through that and have spotted the additions I made there. Too late, didn't it? Loot boxes. Now, this game here, some of you may have encountered, but the majority probably wouldn't have done. This is a Korean game, and it's probably the #1 earner in the world. And they make their money out of an egg machine that unlocks rare monsters to use in this game. Nothing real, nothing tangible. It's just the thought of being able to collect. I know Pokemon collects them all, but at least you buy that outright. And the idea being that they have made all their money by selling this promise of being able to get a rare reward, unobtainable items and features. And the odds are massively stacked against the player with these things. You may have watched a YouTube video of people unlocking a load of these boxes. The cards for the FIFA game are a classic example. They're not silly. The manufacturers of these games have contacted these popular YouTube videos and given them 100 packs that have been set to release rare objects way more often than you're ever going to get. So you're an impressionable young person. You log in and you think, I'm interested in buying some of these packs. Let's have a look what comes out. And you watch your favorite YouTuber, and they get maybe 5 or 6 really good items. And you think, odds don't look so bad. I'll have a go. And that's where they catch you. Okay, it's not a massive amount more than the other ones that are catching up, but it's at the top of the chart. $7 billion estimated very much on that game. It could be a lot more than that because it's very difficult to tell, it being an overseas product. Interesting stuff. Oh, adverts. The bane of our life when we're playing these free games. And that's what we get. That's the last way we can be made to pay. And if you've played some of the more recent stuff, it is heavily adverted. Not only will they make money from selling adverts in the games, they'll charge you to unlock it without the adverts. So we've got 100 left. You didn't think you were going to get away with anything other than 0 by the end of this presentation. So we'll remove the adverts from the rest of the talk. Thank you for the payment. They're commonly used to fund entire games, but they're also used to supplement the other methods that we've seen today. It's difficult to estimate the total revenue, but mobile advertising is worth roughly the same as mobile gaming, about 70 billion a year. So, and obviously mobile gaming takes a chunk of that. So we're probably talking about half of the money is made from just pure advertising. So you are selling yourself to the tune, collectively across the world, of $35 billion looking at those adverts. Clearly a big chunk of your time being spent there. We come to this last bit. It was called hunting whales with an iPhone. So where does the whale come into it? Well, all of these systems could be manipulated, and this is the point we come to. Companies, such as the Supercell we saw earlier, hire professionals to do this. Psychologists, analysts, marketing experts, and they also spend this money to make it. It's now estimated to get a user that will pay to play the game, because most people download them, and they throw them away when they're forced to play. And it's maybe only 5 or 10% that will pay and start paying. You might spend as much as $5 to secure that user. And this is where the money's going. They're spending it, they're feeding it back into a machine, a cycle, to convince you to invest in their products. Where's the whale? The big spenders are called whales. Those people that spend money on games, once you start spending, you keep spending. And it can get to £10 or £100, or in rare cases, £1,000, and they are whales. And there are whole departments in companies now that, and believe you me, they're paid way more than the developers making the games, that are out there trying to secure you as a whale. So my message is basically, don't be the whale. Think about what these tricks are doing to you. Think about the way that you are probably wasting, in inverted commas, your time playing these games, and you think it's something free, it's something fun, but they're not. These people are very clever. They're manipulating your behavior. It might not be in this game, might not be in the next game, might be 5 games down the line. Maybe when you leave university and you get a job that's paying, and you think, what's it matter paying £5 to play this? I enjoy it. I kind of agree with you. But why not spend that £5 on just buying a game? Let's reward the developers, the innovative people, the people that have actually been creating this stuff and actually buy something outright, rather than being hooked onto that line and fished up by these companies that want to basically hunt you down as whales with your iPhones. Thank you. And the legal bit. Thank you.